Hello, my friends. It's the last day of summer, and I thought I would just show you what a really messy yard looks like after 2 weeks of me doing hospital duty with Rick for 10 days and then kind of babysitting so that he doesn't get himself in trouble. Rick had an abdominal surgery done uh, 16 days ago, the the 5th, and today is the 21st. And it was a very serious operation with an estimate of about 3 months recovery. It started out that it was, 6 to 8 weeks. Well, that's true, but as far as lifting things and doing heavy any work, but as far as really getting back to your old self, probably about 3 months. And again, it's only been just over 2 weeks. So he's, we walk halfway up the street and we have to come back and he has to lay down and take a nap because he's so tired. But anyway, today is the last day of summer. And I thought, what a great way to start my channel back up. I haven't done anything for 2 weeks. A little longer than that, actually, I think 3 weeks. But I wanted to show you what's going on because it's really kind of neglected. And I'm looking at it, and goodness, the leaves from the plumeria are just, I have been picking them up like every couple days. I come out with a rake and I rake them up. But you can see that just the change in nighttime temperatures. We've gone from like 79 down to about 73, 74 at night, and that is Fahrenheit. But look at all these leaves that have fallen. And like I said, I was just out here 2 days ago, and they turn yellow and they have kind of a fungus on them, so you need to keep after it. But look at what's still up there. And this has been very strange, but this year I am still getting blooms, and they fall occasionally. Let me see if I can find one. Pretty little thing. It's got some brown on it, but I'm sure it still has a really pretty fragrance to it. And so some of the changes are the spathiphyllum, that's a big peace lily. They're still blooming. They've bloomed all summer long because they're right underneath the plumeria. And so what a gorgeous bloom, don't you think? That beautiful peace lily, spathiphyllum. And because it has the cover of this plumeria tree up above, it's got enough dappled sunlight that the blooms just keep coming. And the tea plants, the cordyline, it seems to have hung on very, very nicely. I have one penta that is a volunteer, and I keep cutting it back down to the ground, and then it shoots up again and it blooms and it looks really pretty. This will get some of the morning sun. I'll just show you. It's about 9 o'clock and you can see the sun is coming over, but of course that'll be going in the other direction here very soon with fall coming on. Let me just turn around. Isn't that pretty? T-I is how they spell it in Hawaii, but cordyline is the name that a lot of people know it by. And I have them growing on the side, and then on the other side of this is the back. This is our preserve. You can see this from down here. From down here it drops down on the other side. This is a wall back here, and it drops down about 6 or 8 feet, probably about 8 feet. A little hard to get up, but anyway, I saved some of the moringa branches in case I'm going to make another hugelkultur, but I don't know. Right at the moment, it just I just couldn't collect my thoughts because we've had so much going on hospital-wise. It was a real scary time, by the way. It was pre-cancer and in his pancreas, And so we're real happy that the surgeon was able to, remove everything, and we just have to keep an eye on it every 6 months, probably for the rest of his life. So this is a mango tree, by the way, and it's been grown from seed. It was an Adolfo mango from the grocery store. There's one down a little further on down, and they've both grown from seed. The mulch you see on the ground, this is moringa that went through the chipper shredder. Kind of holds back some of the weeds. I wish I'd had more, but I didn't at the time. The grass has really suffered. I mean, it looks green, but it's a lot of weeds, I have to be honest. The caladiums, these were actually, I think some of them were volunteers that just hung on from last year that I didn't find the bulbs. Impatiens. I find them in one part of the yard and I plant them in someplace else. This is the Florida peach. I planted it probably 3 years ago, and this year I got one little bloom off of it, and then that was it. So I've just kind of let it go, and I thought I'll give it another year. Next year, if I don't get any blooms and any fruit off of it, I think it might either get cut back seriously or taken out. I affectionately call this whole area Juicy Fruit Island because originally the grass was taken up, and I had a Asian pear down at that end and one at the other end, and I had the peach tree in the center, get it, juicy fruit, and the Asian pears both died. I replaced it one time and then that was it. But I did plant a fig here. It was just this is a brown turkey fig, and this is the original stalk on it, and it really started to lean over, so I took the moringa and wrapped the moringa around it to kind of get it to be coming up straight. And then all of a sudden I started getting all this growth underneath, and I'm hoping, like all the roots just started to come up from it. So it's either going to be a brown turkey or it's going to be something, but I don't know what. And I did get probably close to a dozen figs off of it this year, and they were delicious. They were really quite good. I have 2 here on the other side. Let me just go back there, and I have them growing in pots, in those grow pots. And as you can see, a lot of the leaves are turning, but then I'm getting new leaves on it, so go figure. The other one is the same. This one I got probably a dozen figs off, and this is a cold hardy Chicago. It was the fruit in it was how do I want to say it, a little more delicate. It wasn't as much brown turkey is kind of always reminds me of like a mission fig, and that flavor like you get from a fig Newton if you're here in the United States. And the cold hardy Chicago fig was a little lighter flavor. Had the inside seemed like it was lighter colored, and it seemed to me like it was more delicate. But as you can see, it's really taken over the pot, and a lot of growth underneath, which is I think is great. I'm thinking about taking, like some of these that got really tall. I think maybe what I might do is take a piece and try to do cuttings from it and see if I can get more. The big agapanthus that was just blooming beautifully in June, and you can still see some of the heads off of it. This summer really kind of got away from me. We've been going through this with Rick. He had to have testing done before, and so our summer has been kind of, aimed in the direction of health. And it was a little, it was scary. It was very, very scary for him, especially, but for me also, because then you start to say, what if? There's a lot of that. There's a lot of praying involved. But back to the yard, hibiscus here, and one down at the end. I think everything would do well with a good cutback. And once all these leaves go, you get more sunlight in here. Oh, I wanted to show you this. This is a seed pod from the plumeria. I lived in Hawaii for 8 years. I never once saw a seed pod on the plumeria. And this plumeria, along with every other plumeria in my yard, and probably in several other yards that I have given to, came from a small, probably 8-inch piece that I broke off before we moved from Hawaii, and I let it dry, and I stuck it in a shoe so that I could get it through anybody saying, you can't bring that in here. Nobody was checking my shoes. So anyway, I propagated it. I got a huge tree. I took cuttings from it. I moved. I planted some. I gave some away. More trees grew. You've heard this story again and again. And I probably have 6 or 8 of them growing in my yard now. And I still give them away and get more cuttings. So lots of moringa. Lots of moringa. Moringa is the tree of life, as it is called. It's native to Asia. It's native to India, actually. And all the parts are, I think the roots are the only thing that are not edible. But it started out with just the one down there at the end, which I just cut back a couple days ago. And we cut back, I want to say it was in July. I wanted it all July and August. And it's only in like, I don't know, 8 weeks. The thing was, where am I? The thing was the whole way back up. I was cutting off like 8-foot branches, and I should have, some of them I threw into the compost, and some of them I just threw over the fence to disintegrate, to compost naturally in the forest floor. But I have them all over the yard. They're just, I don't want to say they're becoming a nuisance, but moringa can become a nuisance if it isn't contained. It's a tree of life. You can use the leaves. Let me see if I can find one that's a little closer to the ground that I can show you some of them. Well, actually I can just show you this. Now, as I said, this was growing the whole way up past the plumeria, and that was just like 8 weeks growth. But you can take these leaves and eat them fresh. You can dry them and then powder them and put them in your yogurt, in your smoothie, in your soups. They're making roast. You're doing anything like that, you can use them. But I cut it off here so that it would then start to really bush. I think that's probably about. Oh wait, I have sweet potatoes, and it's almost time for me to pull these up. I have them in a pot here. They're growing over here, and then on the other side of the yard, then I have it actually growing in the ground. But I would think that I would be getting a few sweet potatoes, and I think pretty soon, as soon as the weather cools down, then I will probably go ahead and harvest those and see what they're like. Now, let me show you Junior and Senior. These are the ones that I affectionately call it's my compost, and I think the raccoon comes and he was digging in here several nights, and so this is the moringa that I just cut back a day or so ago, and I'm just going to let all the leaves fall down into it, and then I'll take these sticks, the center parts of the leaves, and either run a mower over it or just do it as a chop and drop. On the other side of the yard, where I was just showing you the cold hardy fig, that's all sweet potato, and it's just taking over the ground area, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. And I'll dig that area up and maybe get a few sweet potatoes, for our fall dinner. There's something about having your own sweet potatoes at Thanksgiving dinner. You go, oh wow, people go, oh wow, you grew that? Like it was a real brain powered thing. And I think that's probably it. I'll just walk you down to this end again and we'll look back. A lot needs to be done. I need to get out and again rake everything, and but with Rick, as weak as he is, he gets up in the morning and he says, I'm tired. We go out for a 5-minute walk with a walker, and he comes back and he lays down and takes a nap. So and I'm trying to keep everything as quiet as possible because I'm trying to get his job done and my job and then take care of him as well. So for any of you who have been through this situation, you know that it's taxing because you really can't get too far ahead of it. You've got to kind of stay in the moment. So with that, I will say I hope everyone has a wonderful Sunday and a wonderful last day of summer here in the northern hemisphere. And as we are in our autumn equinox tomorrow, I think it's 2:30 in the afternoon. Probably Eastern Standard Time would be what that would be considered. Not quite sure how that works as we go across. Does the time change for each time change, or is it just a straight up? So anyway, have a wonderful day. I think of you all, and I really, truly appreciate all the prayers and well wishes. I was really quite surprised that so many people were kind enough to not only say they were praying for Rick and for me, but to check in with me day after day. The 10 days that he was in the hospital was very, very grueling. I was there first thing till late in the afternoon. I was his nurse because he kept saying, my wife will do that, which I thought was kind of cute. But and the nurses and techs all said, oh, thank you so much. And so I was doing the washing, cleaning, what have you, and running, and then would come home and get myself ready for the next day. So it can be very physically challenging, especially if you're 75, which I am and proud of it. But it does take a little bit of a toll. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you will enjoy the fact that God gave you another one. So take care, my friends, and remember, garden what you've got. Bye-bye. See you soon.